What's going on, guys? Chip here. Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG online video, where today we're going to be taking a look at one of the interesting decks to come out of Roanoke Regionals this past weekend. There was a lot of mill decks running around at the tournament. We're going to look at a few of them throughout the course of this week if you guys are interested. And the first one we're going to kick it off with is Regigigas. Now, there were 4 of these in day 2. There was another list that ran like a one-off copy, but Regigigas Mill, 4 copies of the same list. Michael Catron, TJ Knowles, Christopher Watkins, and Butch Smith all chose to play it. They all got day 2, like I said. All but one of them, I believe, did finish in the top 64. So congrats to those guys on their day 2 finish there. And yeah, we're going to see what this deck is all about and see if we can't stall our way to a victory or potentially come out on top using another method, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But the idea here is that we're going to tank hits with Regigigas, Wishiwashi, Hoopa, and Ancient Crystal, the tool we'll talk about in a second, and just outlast our opponent until the game ends and they eventually deck out, or we win using Unown Hand here with that hand ability. Once during your turn, before you attack, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and you have 35 or more cards in your hand, you may use this ability. If you do, you win the game. So a really interesting one-off card here, and I think it's a pretty cool, way for these mill decks to win the game. I think traditionally they have a hard time closing games out because most good, intelligent players can kind of map out how they're going to play the game. They can adjust their game plan against these decks and still take 6 prizes, but the inevitability of Unown Hand, if your opponent doesn't play Judge or Marshadow, makes it an alternate win condition for these mill decks. So, of course, we got 4 copies of Regigigas here. Just a big basic Pokemon with 180 HP. Wishiwashi-GX with 210. Of course, we've got the 2 copies of Hoopa here with Scoundrel Guard. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX. Always been a powerful ability. And then also 1 copy of the new Shuckle-GX with that Protective Shell ability. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have 2 or fewer energy attached to them. So Shuckle can be an important piece against specific matchups. So let's go ahead and extend it here and take a look at basically everything we've got to work with, which is going to be just cards that mess with our opponent, right? We've got things like Plumeria to discard their energies. We've got Faba to send special energies, tools, or stadiums to the Lost Zone. We've got, the Gladion to get stuff out of the prizes if we need it. We've got the Enhanced Hammers to get rid of energy. Of course, the Crushing Hammers as well. Steven's Resolve is kind of going to be our draw engine, allowing us to draw up until we have, or allowing us to search our deck for 3 cards and put them in our hand so we can get, a healing card like Max Potion or Acerola for the next turn. We can get disruption pieces like the Hammers, like the Plumerias, and we can also get like some of these important tools like Ancient Crystal, which makes Regigigas take 30 less damage from all opponents' attacks, or Choice Helmet, which makes us take 30 less damage from EX or GX attacks. And then we've got the 1 Rainbow Energy and the Articuno combo. We'll talk about this here for a second. Articuno with that legendary Ascent ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. If you do, move any number of water energy from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. So the reason this is useful is because if our opponent does get a Pokemon with a lot of energy built up on them, we can just come up and use Cold Crush GX, the GX attack here, discard all energy from both active Pokemon to just wipe their board of energy, hopefully, and make it difficult for them to close the game out. And of course, we got 1 copy of Switch here. This is actually important because we need a way to get our Unown Hand in the active. We could also potentially use Acerola with the Rainbow Energy if needed. Then we've got the Lusamines, which is really just kind of how this deck is able to function, being able to get back our supporters and kind of loop them throughout the game. Mount Lanakila, also really important. The retreat cost of each basic Pokemon in play is colorless more, so we can increase our opponent's retreat cost and kind of lock them up potentially, and we're always going to have access to Mount Lanakila thanks to Lusamine. So there's kind of the deck there, guys. I think I covered just about everything. Nest Ball, Stretchers, Counter Catcher, kind of self-explanatory. Team Skull Grunt as a disruption option as well. So we're going to see if we cannot stall our way to a victory. Get comfortable, guys. Buckle up, because we're going to be here for a minute as we play Regigigas. Now, things we want to avoid with this deck, I would say Malamar decks are pretty tough if they play like a couple switch cards. Lost March can be kind of tough as well because they can take 1-hit knockouts. I'm not sure. I think my opponent's deck might be like a Decidueye deck, We do win the flip. That could also be tough because they can spread damage with Decidueye without attacking. We do start Articuno, probably our worst starter, honestly. And no Steven's Resolve in our opening hand, or Cynthia. We always want to see one of those two cards early so we can just kind of draw cards. Looks like it will be some sort of Zoroark deck, and we're just going to, excuse me, man, kick things off right away with a Steven's Resolve. We'll go get Regigigas, we'll get Hoopa, and I think we'll just get another Steven's for next turn so we can keep things moving. Maybe didn't need to get both of these right away, I guess, but Hoopa's definitely going to be kind of more important, but it does have a lower amount of HP, but it can't be attacked by Zoroark, so we'll always be able to kind of heal it. And my opponent is just going to go ahead and Nest Ball for a Rowlet, indeed, confirming that it is a Decidueye Zoroark deck. They're going to Lily, draw a bunch of cards. I needed to check. I should have checked if, like, Unknown Hand was in the deck. That's definitely really important. We're going to go ahead and just slap down the Hoopa so we don't just lose to, you know, Rare Candy Decidueye, a bunch of basics, and knockout with Feather Arrows and Double Colorless and all that. So let's just go Stevens. And we're going to get Acerola, so we have the option to pick up this Articuno. Excuse me. We'll get another Stevens. And it's just damage, right? Damage from attacks, yeah, so it won't prevent anything from Feather Arrow. I thought maybe we could get lucky there. We got Lusamines in our hand already. So let's also get, let's see, do we have the Unknown Hand in the deck? We do, that is nice. I guess we can get an Enhanced Hammer to be ready to get rid of a Special Energy. We already have one, so I should have gotten a Crushing, I guess, in case he gets a Basic Grass or something. Timer Ball here. Let's see if they can get some Stage 1s out. Oh, Double Tails. Love seeing that. Definitely great for our deck. He does have Rare Candy Decidueye in hand, so that's going to be pretty powerful for him. Bringing that out. Maybe should have gotten, I guess, a Max Potion instead of the Enhanced Hammer would have been best. I forgot we already had one in hand. So we're going to see Zorua. Something we do need to be mindful of is the Larvitar with, like, the second strike attack. That's something he could be playing. Want to keep that in mind. It is a fighting type. We're going to see Trade gets rid of a Great Ball. See another Great Ball. See if they can find another Zoroark. Nope, going to be a Dartrix, which is always nice. That's one less Rare Candy they have to use. One thing that is really annoying is, like, counting to 35 cards is pretty grueling, pretty annoying. So I think we'll just go ahead and put down Regigigas. I kind of want to Acerola this Hoopa, but I'm not that scared. I don't think we really even need to do that yet. We can just go Stevens once again. This time we'll get a Crushing. We've already gotten Enhanced. We'll get a Max Potion to have that just in case. And I guess we can take our last Stevens. Skull Grunt might be not bad as well. Maybe Ancient Crystal. Oh no, Regigigas. I guess Choice Helmet would have been good to grab earlier to put on Articuno. But I think this leaves us with enough options here. Now, I will say, small disclaimer, guys, I really don't play these type of decks very often, and for good reason. I don't really enjoy them personally. I'm sure I'll make plenty of mistakes throughout this video, but we'll see if we can't come out on top. It is pretty annoying that, you know, Decidueye can just always ping our Hoopas and stuff like that. Maybe like a 101 slacking line would be pretty cool in this deck. Since you can search the pieces out with Steven's Resolve, you can shut down Feather Arrow. He's just going to start Feather Arrowing away at the Hoopa. Actually going to put one on Articuno and pass it over to us. We can't knock this Hoopa out. Could knock out Articuno, though. So we could just Acerola and then pass. Could also get down Regigigas, but I really don't want to put more than one Pokemon in play. He doesn't have a way to use the Larvitar because he doesn't have a bench spot. So I think I'm pretty safe doing this. We know we'll live for one more turn at least. And we get the Articuno back in hand. Not going to be putting any energy in play, it looks like. They're just kind of taking that slow. We might have to go grab our Skull Grunts to try to start doing stuff to that. So let's go ahead and get a hand count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We need 37 cards in hand, including Unknown Hand and the Switch. There's a couple Feather Arrows and a Cynthia. We, of course, can just Max Potion, heal that. No problemo. And then go for Stevens. We're going to see them trade. Get rid of a Nest Ball. Another Zoroark GX comes out. We'll see if they keep on trading. Thankfully, we know Hoopa is safe thanks to Scoundrel Guard. So we'll just go ahead and kick things off with a Max Potion. We'll go Stevens after that. Go get our other Hoopa, I guess. Max Potion. And Team Skullgrunt, I think, seems pretty good to have the option to get... Yeah, we'll go with that. So they might actually not even be playing the Larvitar. Larvitar's second strike, I believe it says, like, if your opponent has 3 or more damage counters on it, this attack does 70 more damage, and it has a base damage of 10. So you can do 80 damage after 2 Feather Arrows, which is pretty solid. We're going to see them go ahead and trade. Good rule of thumb, I think, is to interact with the deck before you interact with the field. So you can always use Feather Arrow, so you might as well trade first. And then you can use your Feather Arrows. I know it's not going to change because the only target is Hoopa. So maybe he's thinking, like, I want to use Feather Arrows now so I don't forget at the end of my turn. But, you know, that's kind of like a thing that's not, you know, really necessary. So we can use this turn to Lusamine. We know this is safe next turn. We'll just go get Stevens Resolve. And I guess just 2 Stevens Resolve. We've already got another Lusamine in hand. Skull Grunt could have been good that turn as well. And we will pass. He really should have put Ditto Prisms down because that would have threatened a potential Muck. I wouldn't have known if he played Muck or not, so that would have kind of scared me into benching more things. And just to pass over to us, we can go Max Potion, heal this boy, and we'll go Skull Grunt here. I'm sure he's probably got at least 1 energy in his hand. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's just going to concede. Okay, nice. We do get a win. Very nice. We were going to get rid of the Super Boost and a double colorless there. Pretty sweet. I think he was trying to hold on to those for a specific use and was just kind of tired of the waiting game. And I think we were inevitably going to be able to close that one out. So Decidueye, I was a little worried about it since it can spread damage counters, but really not that much to be worried about. Have a Blasphemy here. Looks like they're going to be playing the Gardevoir deck that Jimmy Pendarvis just won with, which can be a hard matchup. They've, of course, got Solgaleo to continue to accelerate energy. Swampert lets them knock out Hoopa. But Regigigas still has a lot of HP, so I think Regigigas here is going to be really important. Shuckle, not going to be that great since, you know, they can very easily get 3 energies on a Pokemon. And we're just going to start things off with Regigigas and a Cynthia, as they start with a Ditto Prism. Okay, we get Hoopa. That's certainly an option. We should go ahead and just put this down, I guess. No reason really not to. Not going to put Unknown Hand down. So let's see. All right, Brooklet Hill. So they'll probably get either Vulpix or Mudkip. Ninetales is still really important to get set up. Mudkip, of course, lets you get out Swampert, which is very good because Swampert can attack Hoopa with that Super Boost energy. We got Enhanced Hammer in hand, which is nice. Could maybe disrupt that. We're going to see an Ultra Ball. Gets rid of Cynthia plus a Max Potion. And probably just going to get in Lele to get Elms. Elms is so important for this deck to get set up. You need to get those You get those Ralts down. You got to get down the Mudkips, all that stuff. Might want to get down Cosmog as well. Like I said, Solgaleo is pretty important. We could maybe, like, I don't know. I don't think it would be really likely. I was going to say we could, like, maybe triple poison the Cosmog to knock it out before it becomes Solgaleo, but I think that's pretty unlikely to be able to happen. It is a 101 line, so there's always the chance they prize a piece of it. I think, like, in a tournament, this matchup will normally end in a tie. Looks like they're not getting the Solgaleo, or the Cosmog, though, which I'm fine with. Just 2 Ralts and the Mudkips. Let's see if they fill their bench. Oh, boy. Looks like they will. So that is great, actually. That means that they're never going to have access to Solgaleo, because I'm never going to let them get a bench spot. Unless they play like an Acerola or something like that and have a way to damage themselves, I don't think they're going to be able to get out Solgaleo this game. So once their energy gets discarded, they can, of course, Twilight a bunch of stuff back. But we'll see if we can't close the game out with Unknown Hand before any of that. So Gardevoir plus Ninetales. Would really like to find an Ancient Crystal for Regigigas. Would also like to find a Stevens, so I can start chaining those together. No Stevens yet. We do get an Ancient Crystal, though. So we'll put that in play, and we'll pass it over to my opponent. It's about all you can do. So this deck is a lot of, like, really fast actions, and then your opponent is the one who's taking most of the time. So they do evolve into Ninetales using Mysterious Guidance here. Is going to let them search for 2 items. We see double rare candy. Do they have Gardevoir and a Swampert in their hand? That would be pretty nuts. Maybe they have... Oh, well, there comes the... Well, we know they got the Gardevoir because of the beacon, right? But let's see if they have a Swampert. They do indeed, so they can start using Power Draw. Let's see if they have a supporter before Power Draw as well. Looks like they don't. You know, if you had a Cynthia or a Lily there, you definitely would like to play that before using Power Draw, I think. And we'll see if they have any energy, where they want to put them. We've got a couple Max Potions, which is nice. There's going to be a DCE. No Enhanced Hammers in our hand right now, unfortunately. They're just going to Cynthia. Okay. So they must have drawn that off the Power Draw, because I think you would like to do that first. Of course, Snowy Wind is only going to do 40 damage. 16. Yeah, they have to 5-hit KO Regigigas with Snowy Wind. So I'm totally fine if they want to commit to Ninetales as their attacker. I guess he probably just wanted the option to retreat this, since it does have a 2 retreat. Maybe start using Gardevoir or Swampert maybe. Ooh, Double Tails. That is good for us. Ultra Ball here can fetch out maybe a Curlia to go here, maybe a Marshtomp to go onto Ditto. Even a Ninetales could be a good take. Looks like they will get rid of the Cosmog and the Cynthia. I think they know at this point they're not going to be able to bench it. And what is the take going to be here? Looks like it is a Curlia. Playing the wrong Curlia, you got to play the new Lost Thunder Curlia, since it gives you the option to confuse potentially. And pass over to us. We'll take it. Top deck is not an Enhanced Hammer. So we'll just Lusamine for double Cynthia, and we will pass. Like I said, guys, you are not going to be doing a lot of actions. We've barely used a minute of our time in the game, and they've used 5. Which is how these games go. No reason to really bench Regigigas. We want to have more things in our deck, or in our hand, if anything, to be able to potentially draw into the Unknown Hand combo. So they do get that third stage 2 in play, which means they can now use Super Boost Energy. So let's see if that's what they are able to do. I think sticking them with a solid Team Skull Grunt later on in the game could be good, maybe when they're running low on energy. Looks like they'll attach a DCE to the bench. Man, I would love some of these enhanced hammers we play. Faba, anything like that would be nice. Looks like he'll go ahead and attach in Secret Spring. We might see him go on the offensive here and start attacking with Gardevoir. It looks like he will if he can get a lot of energy in play. We haven't been able to set up the Articuno play yet. He will hit us for 90, so it is threatening a 2-hit KO, but we can Max Potion, of course. And Cynthia after that. Actually get a Stevens, so we'll do that instead of Cynthia. We'll go ahead and Max Potion. We'll Stevens Resolve, and we'll just get... We could go for the Articuno combo, but I don't know how necessary that is. We've got another Max Potion in hand, we know, so we'll just go get Enhanced Stevens. And what else do we want? I don't know if we should set up the Articuno combo. I guess we could, but it's really not necessary at this point. I guess we can get a Crushing. Kind of go from there. Yeah, Stevens for Steven is very, very good. Gives us lots of options. So he would need to get his Super Boost energy basically here in order to get rid of, to knock out Regigigas. Or Secret Spring plus another Fairy. That would do it as well. 3 more energy. Or Secret Spring plus attached double colorless. His last double colorless because he is down 2 plus the one in play. He does get the Super Boost, so he actually will get a knockout here. But we really don't mind all these energies on Gardevoir, and that means that Swampert's never going to be able to one-hit KO a Hoopa because Super Boost is right here. He's going to go ahead and prep this here. So we don't care if they take a couple of prizes. We just don't want them to take all of their prizes. 210 damage does knock out Regigigas. We don't care about the energy on Gardevoir. If anything, we just want to get rid of these. We're fine with all those energies on Gardevoir. Nope, that's fine though. Is there anything I should be scared of losing to? I don't think he can knock out Hoopa. I don't think it's possible for him to knock out Hoopa. He would need a way to reset the Super Boost off of this and get it active. He would need to retreat plus get Super Boost back, which he cannot do. So I think it's pretty safe to just go ahead and Stevens. We'll get Plumeria. We'll get Lusamine. We got one in the discard already. Do we have the switch in here? I know we have the hand. We do have the switch. We've got Max Potion as an option. Enhanced Hammer still an option. Plumeria is good. And I guess we'll get another Stevens. Just keep chaining them together. On to our opponent's turn. They can put as many energy on this Gardevoir as we like. We always can go for the Articuno combo if we want to. He's going to power draw away the Elm. He's only got 15 cards left in deck, so he might deck out before we're able to get up to 35 cards. Really would have liked to have won a game today with Unknown Hand, but it might not happen. Deciding what to do here. Got to be careful about every energy attachment. Every single one is important. Looks like he'll retreat, bring up the Swampert, and start attacking us. Yep. So we can Enhanced Hammer, Plumeria, strip this of all energy, plus Max Potion this turn. So we'll go Enhanced Hammer, this, Plumeria, get rid of these, I guess. Yes, we can get rid of the Stadium, because I think we're going to just Counter Catcher up the Ninetales. Get rid of this. Counter Catcher Ninetales. Max Potion. We played so many cards this turn, and we will pass. You can kind of just see this deck is like very straightforward. It's not very difficult to play, even if you're not making the like perfect decision every single turn. Usually you're making good enough decisions to where it's going to mess with your opponent enough to where they're not able to close the game out. Because his only way to retreat now is going to be like double Secret Spring, retreat, and then he can't attack with Swampert. Then we can just bring this back up potentially. We're not going to bench anything to give him access to Guzma. So we'll see them Ultra Ball. Could go for like a Ninetales right here, I guess. Gonna get rid of Gardevoir plus Lele. I think he might just be kind of looking at the deck saying, like, what can I really even do? The answer is not much, my guy. He's gonna get Marshtomp, though, so I guess he can get both of those in play, but he probably needs to go, like, double Secret Spring plus Retreat and then use Twilight. Eventually, at least. So we'll just Stevens. And we will get Max Potion, Enhanced, and a Plumeria. Nope, Plumeria. Our other two Plumeria are prized. Interesting. So let's get, I guess, our other Stevens then. I gotta go look and see what my dog is doing because I hear her messing with something in the living room. So let me do that real fast. I promise nothing's gonna really change on my side of the field. All is well. She's just messing with one of her toys, and it was making like a sound like she was like breaking something. So it looks like my opponent power drew away a Mudkip. Yeah. And he evolved into Swampert, so he can deck himself out this turn. I guess we should have maybe gone for a Team Skull Grunt, but we're probably just going to see the Twilight GX here on this turn, which we're not at all scared of. Yeah, you need to save the super boost, I think, for Swampert. I guess we should have gotten Counter Catcher maybe instead of Stevens. Or maybe instead of Max Potion. I guess we shouldn't have really been scared of getting attacked this turn. So he's going to go Twilight. Yeah, Counter Catcher would have been good. But we can still do it next turn, and I'm not scared of Gardevoir. So that's what I said. Like, it probably would have been better to take Counter Catcher, but it honestly probably doesn't matter. My opponent didn't give themselves the Solgaleo, so they can, you know, draw this one out. And we'll see what they decide to take. It's going to be just, I assume, like, all energy cards. Yeah, and 2 rare candies and the Cosmog. So he's going to put the Cosmog back, hoping maybe I give him a way to use Solgaleo, but I don't think that's going to happen. I actually top deck the Counter Catcher, so hashtag never punished. We'll bring this boy up. Stevens Resolve. I think we probably want our other Counter Catcher. And we'll just get, like, I guess we can get Gladion, so we can maybe get, so we can maybe use that to get out our other Plumeria. I guess at that point we might as well just be using Lusamine, but so if that's the case, I guess we can take, I guess we can maybe just put Unknown Hand in our hand to be ready for it, but I guess if anything we should just take a card we can potentially utilize, which would be Crushing Hammer. We have Enhanced Hammer still, right? Yes. So we'll just do this. So on to my opponent's turn. What can they do? What can they make happen? Power draw. Yeah, they're just going to keep drawing through their deck. You've got lots of time to set up with this. You don't have to, once you're kind of like set up, you don't have to like power draw every single turn. Taking the one prize, like I said, you don't mind if they take a couple prizes. You just can't let them take 6. Actually, it's better to let them take prizes sometimes so you have access to counter catchers. He's actually going to prep the Swampert on the back. I don't know if I agree with that, because we can just Enhanced Hammer that away. Secret Spring. I guess he could go, yeah, Secret Spring here, and then maybe try to prep this to attack next turn. So what do we need to be ready for? We need to be ready for double Secret Spring, retreat, attack. So if we go Enhanced Hammer here, he can still double Secret Spring, retreat, and then attach DCE. So let's try to get a Crushing Hammer. We do flip tails. So knowing that, maybe we go for Lusamine here. And go get Plumeria and Lusamine. Use Enhanced Hammer. We don't have another Enhanced Hammer, which is a little sketchy. And we will just pass. Yeah, probably a better take than Skull Grunt that last turn. Although using Skull Grunt there could have been better, but I really wanted the Plumeria option since we did flip tails on the hammer. I guess we could have gotten our second Hoopa in play, but that does give them the Guzma out, which we really don't want. So yeah, they can go Secret Spring, Secret Spring. Oh, he's actually going to power this guy up. Okay. We can go Max Potion Plumeria, though. Even bench Regigigas Acerola is fine. Yeah, and this is actually a smart use of his attachments, is to have all basic energy here. I don't have any more Enhanced Hammers. I think my last one must be prized. We do have Counter Catcher, though, to drag this boy back up. We could bench Regigigas, attach the crystal, and then do that, but that risks this getting a KO, I think. So we'll go Max Potion, Counter Catcher, plus Plumeria. Plumeria to get rid of Skull Grunt and Cynthia. I guess the Stadium is better. Cynthia Stadium. Get rid of this. And pass. Over to my opponent's turn. We may have to bench Regigigas next turn, because we might have to go Lusamine and we don't have healing. I guess we could go bench Regigigas, Ancient Crystal Acerola, and then put the Hoopa back down, and then Lusamine the next turn. Because I'd rather maybe save the Hoopa, but we do have Rescue Stretcher, which means we can get it back. Only 4 cards left in my opponent's deck, so they got to find a way to take 5 prize cards in those turns. They're actually going to power draw, so they have less turns now, unless they have a way to put more cards back in their deck still. Secret Spring. And then we'll see DCE, I'm sure. Bring up the Swampert. And I think our best line is to just bench Regigigas, attach Ancient Crystal, Acerola, and then put down the Hoopa. Because now if he Guzmas, there's nothing he can... I guess he can Guzma and then retreat this to attack it, but that doesn't really accomplish very much. And we'll pass. And yeah, no unknown hand needed today. We're just going to be able to hopefully close this one out. Unless my opponent plays like a Judge or something like that, that could kind of mess with us a little bit. But they've got 5 energies in play, 5 fairies, and then 1 in the discard. They're going to give us the Well Played, which means I believe we should be able to win this one. I'm not sure what else they can really do. 5 prizes left. They didn't get that. Oh, they're just going to go for a knockout. Okay, they're just going to say, I can at least take 1 knockout. And close it out by doing that. And then, of course, all we need to do is pass to finish off the game. So, yeah, I think this deck is good. as far as like the mill decks go. You can maybe change out the Wishiwashis. I don't think the Wishiwashis are necessarily the best. And yeah, my opponent's just going to go ahead and scoop. I was just going to send up the Hoopa and pass, but yeah, sometimes Wishiwashi can just be nice since it has so much HP. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this deck. I think it's something you guys should be potentially prepared for at League Cups and stuff like that. It's kind of a hard deck to play at a League Cup because of the time restriction of best of one. It's a little hard to finish a game in 30 minutes sometimes. But, you know, people do tend to enjoy playing these types of decks. They do seem to like them, so that's something I would be considering. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. And that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to get out of here. And until next time, take care.